Hello, hello. Welcome to Money Talks with Ayanna Smith, and I am your host, Ayanna Smith. But listen, I wanted to, we have a great guest coming on. Had a little bit of difficulty getting on, and hopefully they'll be able to join us. But listen, we have someone who is going to help us navigate through why life insurance while we are having long-term care awareness, celebrating National Long-Term Care Awareness Month. And as we kind of get going and have things moving and rocking, we're going to make sure that we get on that in just a few moments. Well, we are back, and listen, this is an exciting show because we're talking about why life insurance, and also, as I said, we're celebrating National Long-Term Care or LTC Awareness Month, and it's all about making sure that we're covered, we're prepared. And as you know, I am Ayanna Smith, and I'm your host. I'm excited because I really like to help that professional woman drill down, get where she needs to be. You're making the money, but you need to know what to do with the income, and you need to know how to not just make it disposable where it's just going down the drain, but make sure that that disposable content and that money is utilized for you and your family. So we have a wonderful guest who is waiting with us in the virtual green room. And you know what? We are overcomers on this evening, on this day, whenever you're listening to the replay. And please make sure that you like, comment, share, and share this out because we're streaming out on all social media outlets as well as YouTube, Facebook, and we want to make sure that you share this because this is a timely and necessary topic to talk about because life insurance is not, they're not curse words, they are words that can help us. So we're making sure that we have all bases covered because wouldn't you agree, it's time to talk about things and get things in order and learn how they can work for us and we not work against them. So as I said, we have a great guest tonight, Artemas, the agent who is waiting in the virtual green room. He is one of the partners in my agency. I know him for years, and we are just excited that he has a wealth of knowledge, serviceman, and all that good stuff, serving the country. So we want to thank him for his service as well as it's coming up on Veterans Day and all of that. But as we celebrate why life insurance, we're going to celebrate long-term care awareness month. And so we're going to get all into that now. And without further ado, we're going to bring him to the stage and let him rip and we're going to have a great time. It's going to be great, great, great. Hello, Artemas. Are you here with us?
Hey, good evening, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I am Artemas Hurd, also known as Artemas the Agent. I'm also the CEO of Capital Solutions Agency right here in the great state of Virginia. I just want to take a moment to thank Ayanna Smith for having me on tonight. I'm very honored to have gotten the invitation to come and share what I know about what it is about life insurance. We're just going to talk about the basics tonight,
Yeah.
because, starting off, we need to know why life insurance, what is life insurance, what it means to even have insurance, any kind of insurance, there's a meaning to insurance, whether it is life insurance, health insurance, car insurance, whatever it is. The meaning for insurance is to transfer risk. Okay, transfer risk. That means you're telling this company is saying, okay, in case X, Y, and Z happens, this is what we'll do for you. Okay, and this is what you have, okay? And so, and that depends on whatever you're covering. Like, if you have a house that's your mortgage is $300,000, that $15,000 life insurance policy on your job is just not going to cut it. Okay, unless you want your family to be in debt or have to move, and not only have to, they probably buried you and take care of all that, but what about you all's lifestyle? That's going to change. Because so we're going to talk a little bit about all of that on tonight.
Awesome.
Again,
Well,
thank
let me
you,
ask you.
Ayanna, for
You're
having me
welcome.
on. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I tell you, we really go way back. And I want to say, how did it hit with you to become a part of the industry and all that? And and how does that couple with even what you do in, your your dual position, because we are
Okay.
dualpreneurs.
I go back a little bit. I joined the Navy back in 2007. My original plan was to get in, get my little education benefits, and go to college. And then once that time came, I was like, my lifestyle has changed. I can't afford to do that right now. Okay. And so I re-enlisted with another intent. So I'm gonna do another 4 years and kick rocks. Okay. And so in my search to do that, I had became a part of several multi-level marketing companies. And then back 2016, I was introduced to the world of the financial services industry via Ayanna Smith, okay, with another company that she was with prior to where we are now. Um, love the industry, the meaning behind it. At that time, I was 26. And so when you're in your 20s, you only, okay, I got life insurance. I got, everybody in the military knows you have a $400,000 policy in case something happens to you. That was my knowing knowledge of life insurance at that time. Okay, I got a $400,000 policy. Something happened to me, my mama's good. You know what I'm saying? And so, and yeah, and so that was my knowledge of it. And then when I actually started learning about it, I immediately jumped on my very first policy through Ayanna, which is an IEWell Index Universal Life policy, which is outside of what I have with the military, and just learning different things. Then I got orders to move to Florida, so I wasn't with the business for a while, but it was always my heart desire to come back into the industry. And here I am back in 2022. It took 6 years for me to come
Okay.
back. Yeah, but it's okay. And I think it's timely because now I'm at 15 years of service, and
Wow.
I'm getting to that mark. I'm not sure if I want to retire right at 20 or go a little over. I'm not sure yet, but I am there, and I think I'm more aware of the
Yeah.
meaning behind what insurance is. I have my knowledge is a little bit more sharp on it. I'm
Hmm.
able to take whatever is presented to me because a lot of people, just like I said, life insurance is not cut and dry at all. It
It
is
is
not.
not.
It's
Mm-mm.
so many different products. Okay, with it being long term care awareness month, that's a part of life insurance as well.
Absolutely.
So
Hmm.
you can get products with all kinds of features and riders and all kinds of stuff. And
Right.
so I would encourage everyone to not just say, "Oh, I'm already covered." Okay, but is that the right
Right.
policy for you?
Right. We want to say, how are you covered? And
Exactly.
can what you currently have with the look. That's why we do sit down and do that free look over for you. So then if we could add something to it or take something away, try to give you the best guidance as possible, to make sure that you're really, when we say we're good,
They're
truly. And
actually good.
and
Yeah.
then we're actually good, and not just
Yeah.
we're good as a pass off, get on my face good, but we're good because we know what we have, because we have educated and try to educate as deeply as we can to get in people to the right direction. So that's the part about, what we want to, share, of course, why life insurance. So what are some of the key points that when people need to know about life insurance, and that they're a novice, it's not like you're trying to, I always say we don't try to be condescending, but we want to share it kindergarten style with
Right.
style. We don't want
Right.
we don't want to be condescending. So what are
Right.
some
Right.
good
We don't want to.
things
We
that
don't.
you
So a lot of people say break it down like I'm 5 years old, stuff like that.
yes.
So, the question is why life insurance, right? And it's simply because your family is worth it. Okay, your family
Mm-hmm.
is worth it, right? People use life insurance for three different reasons. Either they're trying to cover their final expenses, burial. That's what that is. Um, they're trying to make sure that if something happens to them, that they have something to replace their income. Also, mortgage protection, and also just to leverage a legacy. And that's when we get to talking about those advanced market type of products like IULs, those super charge whole life policies that everyone's
Mm-hmm.
hearing about the infinite banking concept, and all of those things like that. Annuity, people just simply trying to leverage their legacy. So those are three reasons why people even get life insurance in the first place.
Right.
Um, yeah, so you know, in the 2021 average for funeral costs is over $10,000,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, there was a new average that came out, so we're about to hit the end of 2022, and in the last 10 years, funeral costs has doubled, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what
Absolutely.
we have to understand is that hey, I have a $20,000 policy. Great. Now you need some more. you
Right.
know,
Is that
or
right?
you might
Right.
need some more.
Right. Is that enough?
Exactly. Is that enough? So and that's that one. And so a lot of people say, well, I just want to be cremated. Okay, that's gonna cost you some thousands of dollars too, depending on how you
Absolutely.
want to be created. You know what I'm saying? That it's not no, you know, back in 2012, my mother had passed, and we cremated her, and that was back. So in 2012, cremation actually wasn't that common, believe it or
Mm-hmm.
not. Maybe especially not in the South where she was. She was in Mississippi, Georgia. Between
Mm-hmm.
those states at that time. So it really wasn't. It could be done. Matter of fact, it was almost never heard of, or it was heard of but not really done.
Right.
And so much so that if you desire to be cremated, you had to go to the body had to go to Jackson, Mississippi, and then they cremate it and then bring it back to
So if I can insert there, that was transportation. Those are
yeah,
costs.
exactly.
Those are extra costs, and
Yeah,
as we this is so timely because I'm looking to have a funeral home specialist, a director, to share as well, and that's a cost for moving the body,
yeah,
transportation here and
exactly.
that, and that
Exactly.
everything is a ticket, a line item. So when we really need to look
Mm-hmm.
at, when you say we really need to look at and do some pre-planning to even think about what we're going to do, and then it's not for today, it's for down the road, because we don't know our
Right.
day that we're going to leave, and each thing keeps going up every month, basically.
Every month. And you got to understand that, like you said, every line item is a ticket. You know, I look at it as every line item as a job, because you got to
Mm,
pay the person to drive there,
yes.
drive back. Then they have their fees, gas,
Mm,
labor, all of those things. Um,
yes.
And then the other ones is like, basic service fees. There's a basic service fee. Oh, for me to serve you is $2,000. But then you got like you said, the transfer remains, the
Yeah,
embalming, the cosmetic services, because ain't no cosmetologist coming in there for free. No makeup
correct.
artist coming in for free.
Mm-hmm.
Funeral home use to use the funeral home
Absolutely.
costs. The hearse to use the hearse costs. You know what
It
I'm
does.
saying? And
Family
then
cars.
and now, as you can see, a lot of people have what you call memorial media. They make videos and
Mm-hmm.
slideshows and all those type of things as well. So that costs. Then you have
Yeah.
flowers that cost. Then you have the grave marker. Then the casket. The
Mm-hmm.
urn. All of these things cost. So for cremation, it's going to run you itself over $8,500. The
Yeah.
average. Okay. Now,
Right.
keep in mind every state is different, but that's just the
Correct.
U.S. average,
Right.
$8,500. Yeah.
Every state is different, and even every locale, because if you're from a more populated area, then the cost is higher. If you're from a rural area, sometimes the cost may be a little lower, but still
Mm-hmm.
the cost is going to hit our pockets and comparable to what we may or may not have and what we may or may not need, is dependent
Right.
on, do we have savings, or have we prepared to properly get ourselves together with covering ourselves with life insurance.
Exactly. The second point that I had made was about income replacement, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to ask yourself when you're getting life insurance, what's my monthly budget? Now, keep in mind that most people don't even have a budget. You know what I'm saying? They don't even have a budget, right? And so you want to ask yourself, what's your monthly, but what do I spend per month? Okay. And that's including mortgage, car notes, uh, all types of insurance, whether it's health insurance or auto insurance, credit cards, your utilities, okay, like gas and water, um, groceries, child care, and the list goes on because everybody's life is not the same. You know what I'm saying? So you have to ask yourself, what's your monthly budget? Again, like I said earlier, sometimes that life insurance policy you have on your job is simply not enough. Speaking of that, I actually did a policy on my niece about a month or two ago on her and her husband, and you know, they didn't know that once he left his job, that they were no longer covered. And so she was like, "Oh my God," and so they actually, they turned around, they looked at their monthly budget and expenses and stuff. I found them the right product for them to get in, and now that all, everything is included in there. And on top of that, she's a human resource specialist at her job. That's what she does for a living. And she actually asked me, did I do group life insurance policy? And unfortunately, at this time, no. But I asked her. I said, "How much, are y'all looking to get anyway?" She said, "Oh, about $10,000 to $15,000." I'm like, "What?"
But we don't
Again,
know.
I'm military, and so one of the selling
Mhm.
points that the recruiters pitch to you when they're trying to recruit you is $400,000 life insurance policy. So most people in the military know how much their life insurance policy, right?
Right,
Plus, we
right.
have to go and verify it. They make us go
Mhm.
in and verify it, maybe like every so often, especially if we get ready to get deployed and things like that. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, they make us go in and verify that information. So we know how much life insurance we have. But a lot of times people in the civilian world don't know. They
My
just,
guys.
oh, I got life insurance. Well, how much do you have? You live in a $300,000 house, you got $200,000 in student loans, you got kids, you got
Yep.
cars, you got other assets, you probably have real estate over here somewhere. You live in this whole big old lifestyle, and you're sitting over here talking about a $15,000 policy that you have on your job.
The balance
The
is
math
not.
is the math not math, and the math is not
The
math.
balance is not there. The balance is
It's
not
not. And so,
there.
you know, and so, that's another thing is that we have to ask ourselves, what is our situation,
Yeah,
right? And
absolutely.
think about these stats here that I grabbed from another agent. 64% of full-time workers live paycheck to paycheck,
Hmm.
right? That's a financial challenge in itself.
Correct.
More than half of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings.
Hmm.
The average U.S. citizen carries over $155,000 in bad debt. That's without having a mortgage,
Hmm.
owning a home, anything like that. Just 155K in bad debt. About 48% of U.S. households don't have enough life insurance. Again, that life insurance policy on your job through your employer is not enough.
Right, right.
You know,
And you can't
it,
sometimes can't take it with you when you leave. And then sometimes if you can, it's maybe something that will expire, like a term product expires,
right.
then trying to keep it, it's a very large monthly premium because you've come
Premium.
out of the group and now you're on your own.
Yeah.
Trying to,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
now you're on your
Exactly.
own. Hmm.
So I'm glad you brought that up about term. There are two types of insurance, life insurance products. You have term products and you have permanent insurance, right? So your term insurance, like you just mentioned, does have lower premiums. However, it doesn't build any cash value, and it's issued for a set amount of time, whether it's 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years, whatever the company offers, right? And then you have your permanent insurance, which has your tax-free growth, builds wealth, protects and covers a client from a issue, and also lasts through the client's passing. Okay,
Hmm.
that is what I know both you and I try to get most people in, because we want something that's going to be level, stay level, and have longevity,
And last,
right?
exactly.
And last, and because you think about it, when the older you get, the less responsibilities you have. The
Yeah.
younger you are, the more responsibilities you have. That's why if you really pay attention to certain companies, they offer more life insurance to younger people than they do older people, right? They
Hmm.
that recommended um,
Right.
amount. Okay, they may offer you. They may say, "Okay, we'll give you $1.5 million worth of coverage at the age 55, but this is how much it's going to cost
Absolutely, because you're
you." You know what I'm saying?
transferring. You said at the top of your talk, it's a transfer of risk, and there's more risk because the
Right.
more years we live, the closer we are to not living, and that's how the insurance companies kind of look at it. Like, okay, if we allow this much payout in the event of your passing, then you have to basically pay. Pay. Or people say, pay to play or play to pay. Or
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. But so I had ran into a client where they didn't care anything about the permanent insurance. They just said, oh, I just give me term. Okay, I'll give you a term product. I can't, for some reason I can't talk you into no permanent. But some term products do come with living benefits,
Hmm.
that long term care, okay, provides protection, coverage in death and life. And of course, both products leave um, a love letter, right?
Absolutely.
Both do.
Absolutely.
So, either way, you should have something in place.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of people, love to say, "Oh, I have life insurance through my husband's job, my spouse's job. I'm on his policy." Okay, well, when your spouse retires, if your spouse is 50 years old, projected he's going to retire within the next 15 to 20 years, right?
Yeah.
What y'all gonna have then?
Correct. And let me right. And here's the other part that sometimes we don't know or don't realize when we are
Mhm.
on. Just say if I'm gonna use me and you to say we were married, and
Mhm.
and I and I and you put me on your insurance as a rider. The rider is really like a term, not to be so technical, but the rider is going to run out. I recollect when I was talking to some people, and they said, "Oh yeah, I have my children covered. They're on my policy." Your children are now like 30 years old. No, they're not covered on your policy
They're not covered.
because that time has run out. But those are the things that people don't understand. We didn't know. I didn't know. I don't think you knew until we got into this
Yeah.
space of educating and really wanting people to understand kindergarten style, but not condescending, really understand that this is what we have and this is what we don't have. So
Mhm.
so I can be on your policy all day long, but like you said, either you transition out of work or I outlive that rider. And then you said the other key points and parts is then if I have that, I'm on that as a rider for 20 years and I got it at 30, well, that price is going to look a little differently when I am 50.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So you
And
get it
so,
as age you are right now, not as age you were then when that thing was first put in place. So those are the things that we're trying to explain, and you're doing a great job sharing the scenarios and all that. I mean, of course, we talk our time up anyway, in
yeah.
no time flat. But
Right.
what's some of the main things that you would like to leave people with, as far as saying really getting things in order and knowing that the cost of things are going up and that basically the cost of things are going up, but we still have to keep ourselves in the flow of things. So what would be some parting things that would make sense to you?
Okay. So for me, I have three things that I want to mention to everyone. Number one, we're gonna do a we're gonna do a few myth busters, if that makes any sense, right?
Yes, yes,
Few
yes,
myth
yes. Bust
busters.
this, not bust the move, bust the miss. I love
Yeah.
it.
So number one, a lot of people think that life insurance is only useful after their death, right? Life insurance, like I said earlier, is a risk management tool. Risk must not only be associated with dying, but also living too long. If you really
Mhm.
look at social media, we're celebrating people that are 107, 110,
Yes,
104, 199, 96 years old. We still have those people here and we're celebrating their birthdays, which means that, and we got to think about it, medicine and science has improved over time. People are eating healthier, as you can see. You ever see
yes,
somebody and you say to them, 65, where? You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Seriously, you're right.
Exactly. So that means that they are taking, more people are taking holistic approaches to their diets and things of that nature. So we have to understand that, there's risk associated with living too long as well. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and also understand that insurance can help you secure your financial future. There are various options that can help you build a corpus to make you financially independent during retirement, cover exorbitant amount of medical expenses, or build your wealth. All right. You will always benefit from a timely investment in the right insurance product based on your need. Okay, so we all should be doing a suitability assessment. Again, I can't stress that enough. Know your situation. Okay.
Right.
Another myth that I like to bust real quick is, again, let's put emphasis on this. My employer covers me, so I don't need another policy. Okay. Your employer only covers you until you employ with the company. The policy
Mm-hmm.
gets terminated once you leave or retire. So don't think that when they say you have retirement benefits, that you still have life insurance. Okay. Again, if a company gets a policy on you, they are transferring risk. And the reason why
Correct.
that company is getting that policy on you is to be able to replace you. In the case
Correct.
you're employed with them and you die.
Correct. Which
That is
kind
a
of right, which kind of talks about when we not to get that's this is a whole different conversation a little bit, but that's why
yeah,
people get key man policies when they have the executives. They have the executives so they can
right.
can replace them for the jobs that they did, and then they can divvy those jobs up to about 4 or 5 different people and still pay them out of
Right.
that policy because they did the job that people now need to be broken down to do.
Exactly. Or
But yes,
however they want to work it. You know what I'm
however they
saying?
want to work it.
Exactly. So it is advisable to supplement your employer provided coverage with another insurance policy that is customized to meet your future needs. Okay. And the last one I like to bust real quick, is the the millennial Gen Z myth buster. That's what I like to call it. And probably Gen X too, Gen X. This one here, I'm young, single, and healthy. I don't need life insurance, right? I actually was on a call with another agent. It was a Zoom a few days ago, and he was calling that had submitted some information to his office, and he called me. He was like, the person said he was like 30. He was like, oh, I'm not old enough. I'm that's for old people. And we're sitting
Okay.
like, what? I'm not old. And you're 30 years old. You are well over the age for life
Of
insurance.
being a
And
child.
even exactly, babies can get life insurance. So let's not sit here and but it just shows you how much knowledge is out there,
That's right.
that people don't have when it comes to life insurance. So again,
Yep.
insurance is one product that cannot be bought when needed. Okay, it needs to be bought for a time when you need it. Additionally, the best time to purchase life insurance policy is when you are young, since the premiums are lower and you can avail a high life coverage at very low premiums.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I put for example, I had a 33-year-old client. His dad just wanted to get a small $15,000 final expense product on him, and it ran him about it's running him like $30 a month. Easy
Right.
day, right?
And
Just
right.
think about all the silly the money we spend on silly stuff every day. We $30
Mm,
eating out.
look,
Then think about money. Exactly, exactly. Eating out, Netflix, Hulu, Apple Music, all these things that
mm,
we feel like we need. But when we talk about life insurance, that the price is not changing, but Netflix prices is changing. Okay, we're gonna look up next.
correct.
We're gonna look up one day. It's gonna cost us $100 to have Netflix, and we ain't gonna think
And
twice about it. We're gonna be like, I need it.
and the thing is, it keeps inching in, inching in. You know how
Exactly,
some
exactly.
animals inch in on their prey, and they don't even know they until they have squeezed the life all the way out of them.
Right, right. You know how, like I said, you know how a frog, if you put a frog in room temperature water, it won't
Mm-hmm.
move. But if you increase the temperature, they still won't move
Mm-mm.
because they settled in
Until they can't move,
until they can't move.
and it's done, and they're done,
Right, and
yeah. So it is.
I don't think I can sell a life insurance policy to a frog though. I can't do that.
That's not
Can't
going
do
to
that.
work.
It's not
That's
gonna.
not.
If I could, I would. Hey, you got a job, little froggy? But no. But yeah,
You made some great points.
yeah, but yeah, my people my age, millennials, Gen Z, please get you a policy. Yeah, listen, get you a policy, okay?
Yeah.
I say don't. Just know that Hellcat you want is really not in your budget, okay? It's a nice ride, but it's really not in your budget. Go get you some life insurance, okay? Go get your life
Right.
insurance policy. It's actually cheaper than the Hellcat car note. It's actually cheap.
And hey, and you know what? And think about it. If even in that, even in that, if you look at that's about mindset, and if you look at what that really would cost if you did a monthly thing, put that in half. but I still get a nice car, and take the other part
Yeah.
and put it into look and let it grow. And then later on over time, you if you put enough in, and we can talk to you about this because we can't talk to you about it all at one time. Will even be
Right.
some things to pay off debt and stuff like that once you have placed it in the right vehicles and strategies. But you have to call
Right.
us to really give, because we are very specific, and it's not a one size fits all, it's a one size fits you. So you've hit some awesome points on the myth busters and why life insurance and what it includes, and then you're coming from the military standpoint. So hey, this is a military expert because you've lived it and breathe, listen, lived it, breathed it, and said, I'm gonna re-enlist, and then I re-enlisted, and now I re-enlisted, and now here I am, you know,
Right. Yeah.
ready to take it on in home. But you
Yeah.
have that experience as you're couple and sharing the message of life insurance and how great it is. And of course, we're hearing, like you said, all of these things on different social media outlets. It's time to now bring it in so we won't have such a hodgepodge of information. It basically, like, we won't have so many puzzle pieces, and then we can't even put the puzzle pieces together to make a full picture. What you're sharing
Right.
tonight is that take those tidbits and then call us so that we can help
Exactly.
you to put the puzzle pieces together for you and your family. Oh, yeah, because that's how we have to really do that thing. And it does require some steps, some mindset things, some budgeting, some reallocations, because most of the time we make the money, it's going out. And like you said, eating,
Right.
drinking, wearing it, driving it is going out. And we're
It's
like,
going out.
uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh.
Exactly.
And
Before
then
you think about it, let's just say you take $100 out of the bank. Okay, this is the money I'm going to feed myself with this week. If you're a single person and all that kind of stuff, you take that $100, and before you know it, well, that's 100. It's just five. It's just $2. It's just a
yeah,
dollar. It's just $5. It's just $10. And before you know it, your $100 is gone. You're like, well, where did $100 go? Well,
what happened? Yeah,
remember that bubble
$100.
gum you wanted, them chips you wanted.
Yeah.
You wanted to go with Chick-fil-A this week. You was big balling and shot calling.
Mm.
You wanted to go here and do this. The next thing you know, your $100 is gone. And it's the same thing, in your bank account. When we get our checks, we pay our bills and stuff. And you're like, oh well, I can do this right now. Or I'm gonna treat myself. You really shouldn't be treating yourself, but you're gonna go treat yourself, and then you're gonna do all these other things. Next thing you know, that's where that whole paycheck to paycheck coming in. You done spend all your money on a bunch of crazy stuff, but you don't have a life insurance policy.
Yeah.
Life insurance policy, in my opinion, should be mandated, just like health insurance and
Yeah.
car
And car
insurance.
insurance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. But
absolutely.
this is the one
Absolutely.
thing that you have an option to get that you actually need. Because when you think about health insurance, that's just in case you get sick or whatever. But when you really
Mm-hmm.
look at your policy, you have copay, then you
Mm-hmm.
have these, and then if something happens to you, maybe like you get into a coma, it's only gonna cover so much. And that's
Correct.
where that whole long-term care piece
Picks
should come
up.
into place. Yeah, exactly. So that's
Correct.
why you should have a long-term care rider onto your life insurance policy. Again,
Yeah.
life insurance can really, really help you. Ain't no
Mm-hmm.
co-pay when you die, just pay. Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, it's
Right.
right. It's like it bridges that. It's really like the bridge. It bridges that gap, and oftentimes we're not told about it,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't understand what it is. It's just we have something for the big trip, and that is it. We don't
That's
understand
it.
that we needed to have gone back and looked at things to do those bridge and gap fillers and the living benefits and the long-term care function a little differently from each other. However, they do, bottom line, once that health insurance gives you those 14 days or so and say goodbye, if you don't have any more money to bridge those gaps, then that's where it's the winner, winner, winner to have the living benefits of the long-term care to bridge that
Mm-hmm.
gap.
To
And you are
bridge that gap.
correct. Yeah, to bridge and look and exactly. We have a listener, Miss Tanya said you have to read what the healthcare offers.
You
Exactly.
do.
Everything you just can't take anything and take the first thing spoken and say, I got benefits.
I
Well,
got it. I got it.
how beneficial is it when it's not what we need?
Exactly. And
Yeah,
again, it depends. You have to look at how old you are and what
correct.
are your health conditions and all those things, the
Yeah,
medicine you may need and all that other kind of stuff. And then
yeah.
let's talk about auto insurance for a second, right? Auto insurance covers the vehicle. It don't cover
Not us.
you.
Look very, 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 look, very, very small.
We'll give you a little something. We'll give you a little something on your medical bill. That is about it. You know what I'm saying? Just give you a
Absolutely.
little piece of change on the medical side, but it's not meant for medical. It's not life insurance. It's not medical insurance. It's insurance for the car. So again,
Mhm.
life insurance should be in your budget, and I'm pretty sure with all of these accidents and things that happen, because we do a lot of Ayanna, around the area traveling and doing stuff.
Yeah.
And just this morning, I was on my way to work and I saw a truck that had went up in flames. It was just
Mm.
I passed by, it was charred, but the people that were in there, they were good. That were
Right.
driving. Yeah, that nothing happened to them. But
That's
what if
awesome.
they didn't get out of that? What if they didn't get out of that truck
Right.
on time? You know what I'm
Correct.
saying? Do
Right.
they have life insurance? And that's what I always think when I see stuff like that. It's kind of like, um, we do a lot of driving, we see these things, and we're just like, wow, what happened over there, But I
Yeah.
can't stop because I got to keep going where I'm going.
Keep going. Right.
Yeah, I got to keep it going. But wow,
Yeah.
that's something, just to look on the side of the road and be like, man, they all survived, but you know
But
what
what's the yeah?
Yeah.
What gaps
What if
need to
that
be
didn't
bridged?
exactly what gaps need to be bridged? So life insurance will truly bridge that gap
Mm-hmm.
that you're missing with your auto insurance and with your health insurance, right? And again, it's long-term care awareness month. Please get a policy with that rider on there because you're gonna need it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
And it's kind of it's really like not if but when, because all of
yeah,
us can hit some type of sickness at some point in our lives where we
exactly.
need that rehabilitation and that time that to get ourselves back together in full health.
Mm-hmm.
And it runs the risk on rushing to get back to health, or letting health really, like let nature take its course and us get totally healed because we have those riders and things in place to allow us to do that.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing is a lot of people, say, "Oh, I don't want to spend a whole lot of money." So what a lot of people end up doing is getting an accidental death benefit policy, and not realizing that policy only covers you if you were in an accidental death.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
So again, you should get a life insurance policy, a fully written life insurance policy. And if you do something maybe like construction work, or you are an independent contractor that like you drive 18 wheelers or something like that, you should get you a full-fledged life insurance policy plus an accidental death benefit rider to add on there.
Yeah.
Again,
Do that.
covering all the things, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of the things, that your daily life, your shelter, if you own a home, if you own a business, things of that nature. Because if you own a business, you don't have that type of life insurance. Well, how is business going to keep going after you leave here? You know,
Correct.
so
Right.
you want to cover all the bases so that that legacy that you were here building carries on. So again,
Right.
add that, get you a full-fledged life insurance policy with an accidental death benefit rider.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, life
Ooh,
insurance is so broad.
it
I get it.
is.
we said a mouthful tonight. It is so broad. It's so
Yeah.
many things you can do with life insurance.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are talking about the infinite banking concept right now, private banking, be your own bank, all that stuff. We'll talk about that another day. But
Right. That's
yeah,
another 2 hours, but
that's another 2 hours. I'm telling you, it's so broad. Like me and
yeah.
Ayanna probably sit up from 5 a.m. to 5 a.m. and we sit
PM.
up a whole 24 hours and talk about all the things life insurance, and
Yeah.
then even us as
Correct.
agents, we have questions all the time.
Correct. And
We
ever
have questions.
learning. Yeah, and that's what we say,
Yeah,
we're ever learning because it is a full profession that you have to
yeah,
stay up on your craft, on your game, so to speak, on the
yeah.
knowledge, so that we're able to navigate and help people provide that appropriate guidance. And then just to stop and say, where can we call? We talk to each other as we're learning
Mm-hmm.
different things. And we have a license and a responsibility to really make this thing come to life for people and not just say, hey, I'm going to put you into anything. No, anything might not be the thing. So we need to make sure that it's matching what you need, and
Match.
and help to educate, like you said, educate and make sure you're suitable. What else can you do? Can you expand on what you have and all that? Oh yeah, good grief. It's a lot. It's
Yeah.
a lot, but it's
It's a
fun.
lot. It's fun.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
It's
It's
the
fun.
same with my job in the Navy. Like it's always something new. It's always something refreshing
Yeah.
to learn. But same thing here. It's not boring. Um,
Mm-mm.
Different companies are doing different things.
Yes.
They used to, most companies, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, wouldn't cover you past age 80. Now they're
Right.
going up because, like we said
People are
earlier,
living longer.
people are living longer, right? So
Hmm.
they're tapping into that. There is not too many out. They're tapping up. They go. I think the highest I've seen was 85. A
Yeah.
company that goes up to 85. That's all I've
Hmm.
seen so far. But there are companies out there that are inching into that older market. For one, it's probably going to make them more money. Okay, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
again, the older you are, the more expensive it's going to be.
right.
And number
Right. It
two,
is.
coverage. You want that coverage. You want to be
Yes.
able to leverage. Again, people are still looking to leverage their legacy, regardless of their age. Um,
Right.
they are looking to do that. So, hey, of course, by this time it's too expensive because most people in that age bracket are on fixed income. They're retired, not working anymore. They're getting Social Security and whatever, but they still need life insurance or some sort of coverage, when it's their time to leave. So yeah, definitely. Don't wait till it's too late. For one, okay. Uh, get into the best product that you can. Um, Call us. you know,
Yeah.
Message us, DM, all that stuff.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, okay, I'm on social media most of the time, unless I'm at work. But most of the time, I do have my phone, and I am looking to answer any question that you may have. So, I have two
Well,
pages on
as we
Facebook.
close out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. As we close out, give your way for people to contact you.
Okay, so I have two Facebook pages. I have a like page, Artemis the Agent, as you can see my name here, or you can just find me on Facebook as Artemis Hurt. Okay, Artemas, last name Hurt, Hurt. Um, Phone number 757-337-3110. Okay, if I don't answer, just shoot me a text. My email address is artemis.hurt@icloud.com. Shoot me an email if I didn't answer your phone call, okay, or your DM. I'm easy to find on social media. You can find me on Instagram. I am on Twitter as well for those people that are still, as my sister-in-law says, twittering. and
Not twittering.
and
Okay. I love it.
yeah, and yeah. So you can find me there as well. If you have any questions, and of course, I would love for you to be a client. Okay, so I can educate you and serve you and get your family what you all need.
Absolutely. Well, this has been a pleasure as always. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. Always talking and just kind of shedding things out and sharing. And I know that we're going to have some questions coming through and really just asking. And if anybody's like liking, sharing, commenting, come back in, ask some questions and we'll answer them and look forward to, sitting down and speaking with everyone, doing a complimentary consultation with you so that we can get your family and you to where they need to be. So thank you, Artemas, for coming on and being a guest on the
For
Money
having
Talk
me.
on Money Talks with Ayanna Smith. And Whitlow, we'll talk to you in a minute. Put you in the virtual green room, but we'll talk to you in a minute, and we'll be right back with you. So everybody, this has been awesome. We thank Artemis for coming on this evening. Make sure that we tighten up and do what we need to do to get to where we need to be. Remember, money is always talking, even if we aren't talking about it. So let's make sure that we are talking about it so that we can move and maneuver and get to where we need to be. Everybody have a great one.